What's up, Dank Famine World? Today I'm giving you a tour of my 2021 Mercedes Sprinter 2500 moto/campervan build. I want to start off by giving a huge thank you to Vader Batteries for sponsoring this van's off-grid battery system. I'll be talking more about them later in the video. I purchased this van exactly 2 years ago and have slowly been adding in features as the budget allows to create a simple but highly effective layout for my adventures. This beast comes with a turbo diesel 6-cylinder 3-liter engine and a 7-speed transmission averaging around 18 to 20 miles per gallon. It's the extended model, which gives me room behind the bikes for ramps, gas can, merch tent, e-bikes, you name it. It's got a thick old rear. Majority of people assume being a Mercedes, it's insane maintenance costs, and if you take it to the dealer for everything, they are correct. I paid $700 for an A service when I first purchased it. With that being said, I've done all the work to the van myself since. Give you a quick little interior tour. Nothing crazy up here. There's 3 different trim levels for these vans. You get the first trim level, which is the little knobs with the AM, FM, CD player BS. I really didn't want that, so this is the second trim. This one comes with Apple CarPlay, lane assist, and all those things that help you not crash. Everything's nice on this thing. I wish it would cool better. Steering wheel controls again. You got your cruise control, adaptive cruise control. So if someone pulls out in front of you while you're doing 70 and they're doing 60, it'll slow you down so you don't rear end them. And right here you got your volume and all your home stuff. The second trim package also gives you a nice animated dash. Another cool feature with this, top storage pieces right here. But one sad thing it doesn't have is a glove compartment. Pretty simple, straightforward up front. I do have one special button, which is this train horn, because the stock horn is pretty crappy. But yeah, you got all this overhead storage up top. Got to be careful what you put up here because it will fall back on your head while you're driving down the highway and scare the crap out of you. One cool feature I built in is this is the inverter for like the plugs. So if I'm charging something or if someone needs me to turn on power while I'm driving, I can do it right here. And these seat covers are for like a Lexus. I just made them work. Very comfortable and classy driving down the road. And then you got all the party in the back. Basically a mullet of a bike hauler. When building a van, you want to add soundproofing panels to the bare metal spots to help reduce sound. I went with about 70 square foot of killmat for the roof, doors, and walls. Next, I added the best insulation I like to work with, being 3M thinsulate. This stuff isn't cheap, so I found majority of it new on Marketplace from fellow van builders. In total, I've used about 100 square foot of thinsulate for the roof, doors, and walls. I used wire on the roof to lock in the thinsulate in place until I sealed it up with the wood later on. I can definitely pack in more insulation when I come across it in the future. Soundproofing and insulation is tedious but so rewarding in the long run for a quality build and feel, regardless of whatever your plans are with the van. As for the wall panels, they were created from the factory interior panels these vans come with. I traced the coin floor easily, cut it with scissors, and used flooring glue to install it on the panel. The gray coin material just for the walls from Home Depot cost almost $500. So with that being said, I found the floor's worth of coin material later on for a $50 steal on Marketplace. I ran out of material past the garage area for the floor and used a $15 shag rug to clean up the sleeping area easily for now. As for the Burberry black trim pieces, I never used this on my transit build and didn't want to waste it, but I do plan to switch it to something that flows with the gray better. Lastly, it was time to seal up the roof and add some clean lighting. I started by adding riv nuts to the metal beams so I could thread in a 1/4-inch plywood beams. I used a couple 1/8-inch sheets of wood and then methodically cut in 12 flush ceiling lights to sit center and symmetrical. I stained it in espresso, then used wood screws to secure them into the 1/4-inch plywood beams. The wiring is thin enough for the panels to sit flush, but a simple design to remove the roof easily for future mods like air conditioning. The lights are set to a dimmer switch for maximum adjustments. I always loved the RGB interior trim Mercedes cars have, so I created a similar effect with RV LED strips mounted to the top inner trim. These lights paired with the ceiling lights have unlimited options for lighting mood and needs. All this lighting requires power, which brings us to the next key component for off-grid campers, which is the house battery system. This is my old battery box design, which made 0 sense, so I rebuilt it from scratch. Basically, I laid all components out where I wanted them mounted, then used wood to create a box around the 100-pound battery. I decided to make the new box a battery wall with everything mounted behind the driver's seat as flush as possible. Once the battery wall was shaped, I sanded, stained, and sealed the box for a cleaner look. This new design allows me to remove this box by myself if I decide to remodel, and looks great displaying my electrical work at events. A 12-volt outlet panel, both on the side of the box as well as the rear of the van for easily charging phones, media equipment, and accessing 12-volt power. Above is the switch for the dimmer lights and a battery monitor that I no longer need. I previously used the AGM battery, which requires an additional unit to monitor the battery's drains and gains, but huge thank you to Vader Batteries for sponsoring my van build with their massive 12-volt BMS 460 amp hour lithium battery. This battery makes maintaining a camper van's power supply for less knowledgeable builders like myself so much easier. An off-grid power system uses 3 types of chargers to collect power into your house battery. This house battery is a second battery like my Vader, separate from the one under your hood. I have a 10 amp NOCO shore charger, which means it plugs into walls like items in your house. 10 amps is around how much power the battery charges an hour, so 46 hours would hypothetically charge this massive battery if it were completely dead. Additionally, I have a solar/alternator charger that collects up to 50 amps of power. I do not have solar panels installed yet, but charging a solid 40 amps an hour on the alternator traveling keeps the batteries full as is. This is where I fell in love with Vader. The Bluetooth feature this battery offers is so clutch. Not only does it monitor power draws real time in the van, it also shows the power gains as it's charging in a super simple app on your phone. In colder climates, this battery has a self-heating feature as well as temp monitors for the cells that give you peace of mind while powering your camper. This battery has helped me find and correct charging flaws, and living in Florida provides way more safety with temp management. Thank you again, Vader, for supporting Hindy's power system. Check out the link in the description to grab your own Vader battery and help support the channel. And now allow me to ramble off the rest of the power components. Alright, so this is the battery box power supply, or for my case, the battery wall. Put a lot of work into this. First off, we got the handle, which is a RSC clutch lever. Big supporter of the channel and myself for a long time with stunt riding. They make stunt parts and whatnot. From the battery, I have a battery monitor. And this battery monitor is usually used with AGM batteries in my previous style that I had. I no longer need this since this one itself has a built-in battery monitor inside the app. But I still ran that to my negative bus bar, and then next to it is the positive bus bar. So what these are is all these systems or items that you're using in your battery system, they're going to require a black and a red positive and negative wire to connect them to the system. So since you'll have multiple connections that need that, you'll just get a positive bus bar, which allows all your positives from everything to go to this main source. And then you have your negative bus bar, which does the same for the negative. And then in the front, for the positive battery side, you'll see the on and off switch that runs to the positive bus bar. So this is your shore power. If you wanted to plug it into someone's house while you're visiting, you can charge it off this puppy. The fuse box is going to be for all your smaller accessories like lighting, this power panel right here. Right up here, this is how you charge up electronics or plug in wall electronics such as a stove or something like that. The Renogy 2000 watt pure synthwave inverter, and basically what pure synthwave inverter means is it matches whatever your device's charging needs are and doesn't overcharge it or make it overheat when you have it plugged in. So it's very safe for like charging laptops and phones and stuff like that, but it also works for using like my burner or boiling water on the little kettle. So yeah, that thing's perfect. This is where I have the power that runs up to that little plug right there. So yeah, everything's kind of wedged in there, but I wanted to make it a compact setup. So between this little thin wall, I fit the 2000 watt inverter, solar and alternator charger, shore charger, the fuse box, all the breakers so you can shut off all these items quickly, and then the bus bar on the battery at the bottom kind of as the base. Yeah, very simple setup, nothing too crazy, and it's very slim. So my seat can actually slide and block it in. All right, so one of the big essential things I have in here is my Renogy fridge. And right here is the fridge side, and then we have a freezer. So this is a dual zone portable fridge. All right, a couple essentials. I got my Suron charger here. If I'm traveling, I can charge it through this plug. I have these like track things in case the van gets stuck. I can put this under. All the tools, starters, inverters, and stuff like that. First aid kit. This used to look nice, then it got messed up. This is the garage area. We got the floor to match the walls. Wheel well covers that are like 100 and some change. Little baby trash can. That's the gear wall in the back. I decided to put the stinkiest shit in the rear. I got the gas and the gear in one spot in the back, furthest away from my nose. It's just so simple. It's not too much to it, but it's so effective whenever I need stuff.
Baby, I'm all done with the video. I had some narrations with some good outros, but I fucked them all up. Now I'm doing this song, cause my Mercedes walk through is all fucking gone. I paused the video with the sound, and I'm just acapelling at this time. But I need a AC system and some bed platform for this bitch, cause it's hot when I sleep on the ground. Appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and like always, keep it dank.
What, you ain't know?